Welcome to another episode of Travel Champ. If you enjoy all things travel, then subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss out on any of our latest and greatest uploads. New York City can be an intimidating place. It's loud, crowded, and there seems to be some kind of unwritten code of conduct that only the locals can understand. Luckily for you, we've written it down. Here are our tips and rules for making your way around town like a real New Yorker. 10. Know what downtown means. In New York, when someone says downtown, they don't mean the commercial center of the city. In New York, in Manhattan specifically, downtown means in a southerly direction, or one of the neighborhoods below 14th Street. So if someone says, "I live downtown," it means that they live in one of those neighborhoods. But if we were standing on 79th Street and I said, "I'm heading downtown," I could mean that I'm making my way toward anywhere between 78th Street, one block down, and Bowling Green at the southernmost tip of the island. Midtown means the neighborhoods in the middle section of Manhattan, between 14th Street and 59th Street, which also happens to be the busiest, most office building-filled part of the city. And Uptown means north, or any of the neighborhoods in Manhattan above 59th Street. So that's, "I'm taking a cab uptown," when you're going anywhere north of where you currently are, and "I live uptown," if you live on 98th Street, for example. To make things more complicated, there's also a neighborhood in Brooklyn known as Downtown Brooklyn, which sort of corresponds to the traditional notion of the word in that it's busy and there are a lot of tall buildings there. But it's not the center of the borough by any means. Making sure you've got this all down will help you avoid confusing the locals when asking for directions. 9. Sidewalks have traffic rules. Okay, not rules that will land you with a ticket if you don't obey them, but important if you don't want to get run into by an irritated local. People walk with purpose, and often at a pretty good clip. When in doubt, treat walking down a busy sidewalk like you would driving on the highway. Keep right, don't come to any abrupt stops, and if you're distracted, moving particularly slowly, or just need to stop to snap a photo or check directions, pull over to a spot that's out of the way. Same thing applies to escalators. 8. Follow taxi and ride-hail app etiquette. For yellow cabs, if the numbers on the roof of the cab are lit up, it's available to give you a ride. If the light is off, there's someone in it. Also, you don't need to shout "taxi" like they do in the movies. Just stand on the curb and stick out your hand. And make sure if you're hailing a cab, you don't accidentally upstream someone. What's upstreaming? We're so glad you asked. If someone was already standing on a street corner or a little further down the block within view with their hand out waiting for a cab, they get first dibs. People get very upset when this happens, so make sure you check your surroundings before flagging down the first cab you see. When it comes to Uber, Juno, Lyft, Via, and the like, the most important thing to do is to make sure you have the right car. The city is full of black Toyota Camrys and Honda Pilots with license plates that start with the letter T, so triple check the plate number and say your name as soon as you get in the car. And don't make them wait more than a minute or two. 7. Know your bikes and scooters. Those rows of blue bicycles you see docked around the city are city bikes. A day pass costs $12, and a 3-day pass costs $24. They're meant for quick trips. Once you've unlocked a bike, you have 30 minutes before you need to dock it again at any location, otherwise you'll get charged an extra $4 for each additional 15 minutes. If you already have a Lyft account, you can pay for and access a bike from within the app, which just incorporated City Bike into its system. Otherwise, there's also the City Bike app. The city still has a long way to go when it comes to building a comprehensive network of safe, designated bike lanes, so navigating the streets on two wheels is not for the faint of heart. Wear a helmet, you'll need to bring your own, be aware of your surroundings, and don't go the wrong way down a one-way street. Revel, an electric moped sharing startup, recently launched in Brooklyn and Queens. They don't have designated docks, but you'll see them parked on the street. Once you download the app and unlock one, there's a one-time $19 fee to verify your identity and safe driving record, and then it's $1 per person, plus 25 cents a minute to ride and 10 cents a minute to park and pause. 2 helmets are included in the case mounted on the back. 6. Riding the subway. Because owning a car in the city is expensive, parking is impossible, and traffic is hellish, most people in New York City get around using the subway. It's inexpensive. If you have a Metro card, it's $2.75 per swipe, including any transfers, or $3 if you're only purchasing a single ride. And when it's working properly, it's fast and convenient. If you're here for a week or more, consider getting an unlimited 7-day card for $33, which you can buy at a kiosk in any MTA station. A tip for new riders: swipe your Metro card more slowly than you think you need to. The card readers can be a little finicky. 5. Taking the bus. They aren't often used by tourists, but especially if you're trying to go cross town, east to west, or a short distance in an area that isn't well serviced by the subway, say Crown Heights to Williamsburg in Brooklyn, or from the Met to MoMA, buses can come in handy. During rush hour, however, you may find yourself moving at the same pace as the people walking on the sidewalk next to you. 4. Oh, and there's also a ferry. The New York City Ferry, formerly known as the East River Ferry, isn't always the fastest option, but on a beautiful day it really is picturesque. Pivotal scene in a rom-com levels of picturesque. It costs $2.75 for a one-way ticket, and it's often more pleasant than dealing with multiple subway transfers if you're trying to get from, say, Greenpoint in Brooklyn to Wall Street. There are a few commuter lines, all of which connect to downtown Manhattan. North Brooklyn, South Brooklyn, Astoria, Soundview in the Bronx, and the Lower East Side, plus seasonal routes to Rockaway Beach and Governor's Island. The Staten Island Ferry is a separate thing. It's a shuttle that only goes between the southernmost tip of Manhattan and the northern tip of Staten Island at St. George. It's a great way to do a flyby tour of the New York Harbor, where the Statue of Liberty is, and it's free. 3. A note on clothing. The terrain is not that difficult to navigate, and that old thing about New Yorkers wearing all black all the time? Not entirely true, but you do see a lot of it during the winter months. If you're going to a theater, concert hall, or upscale restaurant, check their website or call in advance to see if there's a dress code. Occasionally, these super high-end, or super old-school spots will require jackets for men. At most places, though, you'll see a mix that ranges from jeans and t-shirts to dresses and heels. When in doubt, go a little dressier. If you're wearing zip-off hiking pants to lunch in the West Village, you won't be treated badly per se, but you will be treated like a tourist. 2. How to talk to strangers. People will think you're crazy if you say hello to them while passing in the street, even if you're the only two people on the street. Most people are happy to help with directions, but a breezy "good morning" is considered eccentric. Maybe it's something about living in such a crowded place. There's so little actual privacy that we try to create some semblance of it for each other when we can. If you do need to ask for directions, the best way to stop someone is to wave them down with a simple, straightforward, "Excuse me, could you help me with directions?" People are generally conditioned to ignore everyone, so don't be discouraged if a few people walk by with their headphones firmly in place. Someone will eventually stop to help out. 1. Don't wait 3 hours for a table. Generally, going to any new-ish, well-reviewed restaurant downtown without a reservation at peak times, 7 to 9 p.m., results in a bit of a wait, 30 to 45 minutes. But there are some, often beloved restaurants that frequently command wait times longer than 2 hours and won't take reservations. Looking at you, Via Carrata and Kiki's. It can be discouraging, infuriating even, especially when you're not prepared for it and haven't made a backup plan. If a buzzy restaurant you're excited to try doesn't take reservations, try calling mid-afternoon to get a sense of how long the wait gets at peak times. If you absolutely must eat there, one way to do it is to go at 5 p.m. and put your name down. Then do some shopping and have a drink nearby. Just keep your phone handy. They'll give away your table if you're not there within 15 minutes of when it opens up. When it comes to those flash-in-the-pan, Instagram-famous foodstuffs, that cup of raw cookie dough or vegan donut or rainbow whatever it is probably not worth the 3-hour wait. Especially if you're only here for a few days. It's just not. And with that, we've reached the end of this video all about the best tips to follow before traveling to New York. If you enjoyed this video and found it interesting, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more content just like this.